You will be shocked after hearing this, but they will come back, even if they left you. And the cool thing is, you don't even have to take any physical action. You don't even have to reach out to them. They will be the ones who reach out to you. They will be the ones who come back and confess their feelings to you. They will even start missing you badly, and that will happen soon. Now, in order to make it happen, you have to keep a few things in mind. When you follow what I am about to tell you, then the results will appear quickly in your reality. To start with, you have to first get aware of your story. You have to get aware of what you are telling yourself about your life. What is it that you identify yourself with? Who are the characters in your story that had or that have a major impact on your life? What role are you playing in this story? You might think that it is a foolish thing, but each one of us is playing a story in our mind. We have imagined this story, and now we are experiencing this story in our physical experiences. But the majority of people are playing the story of a victim. This story sounds like X person did this to me. That is why I have changed. Y person broke my heart, and that is why I quit my job. The circumstances were such that I wasn't able to exercise, and that's why I am fat. I was raised in a toxic environment, and that is why I am not attracting a healthy relationship. Also, there is one story that almost all of us tell to ourselves. In fact, even I have played this story in my mind. The story starts with, if I had done X, Y, and Z things in the past, then my present would be better. When we think that we could have done something better in the past, then in a way we start blaming our younger selves. You too have done this, right? Isn't it eye-opening? Well, whenever we are blaming and complaining, then we are playing a victim story. This story is changing our state of being. This story is changing our identity, and then we are living from a lower state of being that in turn is manifesting similar experiences in our lives. Now, if your specific person has left you, then you have accepted the story of a victim. You are telling your friends how they dumped you, how bad they are, and how good you are. Sharing this story with others gives us temporary highs. We feel better for a short period of time. It is like a cheap thrill and a short dopamine spike. But after that, we are left in the same place as we were before. Internally, there is no change. You still feel the same. And to feel different, you go and share this story of getting dumped with another friend of yours. By doing this, you are living in a cycle of feeling temporary relief and then returning to a miserable place. Also, by repeating this cycle, you are viewing yourself as a victim, and this story of being a victim is getting stronger day by day. You subconsciously take decisions and actions from this state of being. You start entertaining thoughts that match this state of being. After some time, this victim state becomes your nature, and that is when you lose in other important aspects of your life. Your friends start decreasing, your health starts deteriorating. Even some people start losing their jobs, the circumstances start appearing as if they are not in your favor, and even your relationships with your family are affected by it. But you don't have to worry because back then you used to be a highly ambitious and motivated person. But then you stepped into a state of victim and manifested a life that is way different than when you were a highly motivated person. If you can bring this change by remaining in the state of being a victim, then you can definitely change the state of being a victim by entering a new state. And that you can do by entertaining a new story. If you are with me and you understand all of this, then congratulations. You have become aware of the knowledge that will help you to get anyone back in your life even if they left you. So, have you ever wondered why someone leaves? Yes, the harsh truth that you are hiding away from yourself. When I say this, some of you will get triggered, and it will make you feel uncomfortable. But that's okay because after listening to this truth, you will take a different approach to living your life, and this will help you in the long term. So, are you ready to swallow this bitter pill? I advise only strong-hearted people to listen to this. If you are softy, then you can leave this video. Now, let me tell you a story of a woman. This woman was in her 20s. She viewed herself as a queen and was ambitious, which is why she was studying at a university. Her life was going okay, but she always wanted to improve. She always had this desire to grow in her life, and she had this desire to look better, so she joined a gym. She started working out, and she started getting some results. During this time, she even raised her image in her mind, and this made her an attractive person. Now, she was getting lots of attention. There were some men who started approaching her, and then she met a guy who ticked all of her boxes. They went on dates, and everything was like a movie. Everything was going great, but then she started comparing herself. She met other female friends of her boyfriend, and she started comparing herself. Some of these friends were older, so they had these decent jobs and they were traveling. She started to feel jealous of them, and it was evident from her behavior. Now, she started to feel insecure. She started losing her uniqueness, and that is when she started losing her charm. It was not about her story anymore. She was trying to become a first copy of another person. This is when she started choosing a lower state of being, which landed her in a place where her guy started losing interest in her because she was not herself anymore. She became lazy, and that is when the guy left her. This is what happens. Many people who get into a relationship are living a great life, but then they become lazy and stop working on themselves. They don't want to improve, and they don't want to grow anymore, and this is what changes their state of being. Now, it does not mean that for one day if they were acting lazy and their partner left them. It happens only when it becomes a habit that then turns into a dominant state of being. As far as I am aware, the majority of people start showing less interest in their partner because their partner chooses a lower state of being. And this is the reason why they leave you. When you view yourself as someone who is less valuable, you lose your value. It is that simple. This is a very common pattern that even you can notice about a person who gets dumped by their partner. You will receive advice that you should not take a dumper back into your life. Well, it is a personal choice, but if you follow others' advice, then also you have to do this one thing. It does not matter if you want an old person or a new one, you still have to do this one thing. And that is to change your state of being. You have to change your story. Sure, you can attract a new person by buying them gifts, but you won't be able to keep them. There are people who are just living a mediocre life and still have a partner that is ready to do anything for them. You know why? Well, it is because there is something in their partner that keeps them interested, attracted, and addicted, and that thing is how they perceive themselves. Change your perceptions about yourself and start doing it from this present moment. Start viewing yourself as a person who is highly valuable, and to begin this, you have to start with forgiveness. You have to start forgiving your younger self. Stop blaming your younger self, and start accepting and appreciating that self because your younger self did all that they knew at that time. They did a great job with the limited knowledge that they had at that time. Now, it can look like they could have done something different, but they only did what they knew at that point in time. So, appreciate them by imagining, giving them a hug in your imagination. Tell them to stay strong because nothing lasts forever. Now, when you start doing this, remember, it can leave some of you with tears in your eyes. And when that happens, then become happy because it is a clear sign that you released some energy that was trapped in your body. After forgiveness, you will feel light and relaxed. After this, you have to start changing your identity. You have to start small by focusing on only a certain area of life. Let's say you are getting fat because you are lazy and you don't work out. Now, imagine this new identity. Give it a unique new name. Let's call this identity Shivy. Now make 4 to 5 affirmations that would be true for this identity. Like, Shivy is a bombshell who feels sexy because she has an aesthetically pleasing body. Shivy looks like a model and receives compliments that make her happy. Shivy is consistent with her workouts as she enjoys doing them. Now, I have given some affirmations that came into my mind while designing an aspect of an identity named Shivy. I covered an aspect of her body in fitness. Now, this person who wants to change her identity can start focusing on this aspect of her life by viewing herself as Shivy. She can do this first by relaxing her body and focusing on her breath for a few minutes. This will disconnect her from her previous story. And then she has to repeat these affirmations. Notice that I have given affirmations that even have an element of a feeling like feeling sexy, enjoying, and happiness. So, make affirmations that are in the present tense and that have an element of feeling. Use words that evoke certain emotions in you, like calling yourself a bombshell. Also, the next step is that you have to wear something, like a fitness band or a watch or a spectacle or something that you never wore before, as this will remind you of this new state of yours. People even get tattoos. Now, every day you have to step into this self. You can do it as a first thing in your day. You can do it before falling asleep, and you can even do it before going for a workout session. As you perform this, as you repeat the affirmations that you created, you imagine yourself as a different person, and imagination is one such thing that will shift your state of being. Imagination manifests in your reality. So, I want you to imagine more and more favorable circumstances that you want to experience in your reality. As you make it a habit of embodying this new self, your dominant state of being changes, and this attracts the person that left you. They come back and confess that they did wrong. But, in reality, you were the one who did wrong with yourself before they even left, and you know how you did it. I already explained it in earlier parts of the video. As you change this one aspect about yourself, you can try it with other aspects as well, such as your career, some skill, or even relationships in general. Like viewing yourself as a person who is committed and has a loving partner. It is all about shifting your identity, and the sooner you start, the sooner you manifest changes in your life. Start viewing yourself as an attractive person, and you will manifest it. When Norma Jean changed her personality and started viewing herself as a bombshell, as a woman who everyone adores, then she became Marilyn Monroe, and the rest is history. You know how famous Marilyn Monroe was. It happened because she made that inner shift. She shifted her state of being, and she became famous. Although her story ended on a bad note, it does not mean the same would happen to any of you. You can give yourself a new story, a different one. I gave you this example to make you understand how many celebrities change their names to make that shift in their identity that later makes them famous and successful. You can also listen to affirmation tapes. It helps a lot to shift the identity. I have made one such affirmation tape that will help you immensely. You can find it by clicking on the first video that appears now on the screen.